What's going on, people? Welcome to your Friday night flex. Hope you lot are doing good and chilling inside. It's the Friday night flex. I like it. Although on the corner it does say the Thursday night flex. We are going to sort out. I've got so much to get through tonight in today's show. Listen, we've got to talk about Solskjaer's transfer priority. Loads going on with that. I've tried to make up this list, right? And it's like each week the list keeps changing. The list keeps changing on our priorities. Yes, we've got the centre-back situation going on, but the striker situation is now a thing. We know the right-wing situation has always been a thing. You've got to look at what happened against AC Milan. Central midfield, we're struggling there as well. I want to talk about Avram Glazer as well, selling £70 million worth of shares if he sells them once they've sold. It's 5 million worth of shares, but they will sell, if he sells them all, for £70 million. We're going to talk about what exactly that means. We're going to talk about the centre-backs that we're linked with right now. We're linked with quite a few centre-backs. So the search is hotting up as well. Eric Bailly, potential new contract as well. We're going to talk about that. Is that the right thing? You look at how he's getting on with his injuries. Is that going to work for us? I want to know your thoughts on that. Cavani staying, Cavani going, and the massive week ahead that we've got. We've got a massive game against West Ham. Next week, we've got Leicester. We've got the AC Milan game as well. Big game. So you lot know what to do. Smash a like on the video. You know what it's about. And I want you lot to get involved. I want you lot to get involved as per usual. That's what it's about. Hold tight, everyone. Logging in as well. We've got Red Army says Rashid. David Lee says Eric Bailly with laughing faces, laughing emojis. And Flevian says the Friday night flex. 100%. That's what it is. And someone said, and Rifleman says, Flex, apparently Ed Woodward is jealous of you. I don't know why I'd be jealous of me. But let's get straight into it. Solskjaer's transfer priorities. Now, this is something that I see just like a list that's just growing right now. It's like our injuries. Yeah, I'll be honest. It's like our injuries right now. Because at the beginning of the season, we could see we needed the centre-back, right? Now, Igalo was here at the time, and we knew his loan was going to run out in January, so we needed a striker. We were spending all summer going for Jadon Sancho. We needed a right winger. We knew there was discrepancies in central midfield. We needed a centre midfielder, defensive midfielder. We weren't sure Pogba was going to go, but very early on we realised that he wasn't, so cool. Then we were looking at competition for Wan-Bissaka. We needed a right back. Then we were looking at Luke Shaw. We needed competition for there. So really, look what we addressed in the summer. We addressed the thing with Luke Shaw where he needed competition. We did address the striker in the end, but we'll get to Cavani in a second. We didn't invest in a defensive midfielder, and we didn't invest in a right winger. Although we did get Amad Diallo, to be fair, but he just came in January, right? He's only just come, and he's only been barely been used. And you saw what he done last night. To me, this list is growing for Solskjaer because this is what I've got written down here. We need a defensive midfielder, a centre back, a centre forward, a right winger, and right back cover. That's 5 positions. 5 positions that we actually need. And that's not even necessary. Like, apart from the right back cover, arguably, that's starters. That is absolute starters straight into the starting 11. And for me, that's an issue. That's a massive issue because where are we going? Like, with the Cavani situation, it seems like we're just going back round in circles, which I'm going to get to because Igalo, we knew was going to leave. Then we need to fill the void with Cavani. Now he might leave. We don't know whether Martial's the answer. We don't create chances for the strikers, but we know that we need a clinical striker. So that's one. Marcus Rashford's getting absolutely burnt out. So actually, I'll probably add a left wing cover into that as well, even though Dan James is there. But, we were going to need better. You see what McTominay and Fred were putting up together, or McTominay and Matic putting up together. We need way better in that position. Like Ricky did say, when Man United play a combination of Fred and McTominay, or McTominay and Matic, or Matic and Fred, or whichever out of them, it ain't good enough. Simple. It's not good enough. So really, the list is growing. And today, there's talks of us, £33.5 million centre-back Gianluca Mancini from Roma. Okay, 23 appearances, 4 goals this year. He's 24 years of age, but he does have a contract till 2024. Now, I saw that we was in for him today. And basically, Roma want to keep hold of him. But if they don't get the Champions League, he's going to want Champions League, and maybe we could be in for him. Now, I've done a little bit of research. I've done a quick KG. When you go and look at the YouTube compilation. I'm not going to be that guy who tries to come on here and say, "Oh yeah, I've seen it, guys. He's exactly what we need." The truth is, I don't know. Yes, that is the truth. I've done a little bit of research that you guys might have done. I'm not an Italian football specialist, but what I have been saying is that I'm not particularly drawn into the fact that we as fans need to have the answers. Yeah, like I'm not John Murto. Some people may say I might be as good as John Murto. No disrespect, could just fling me in there. That's what some people have been saying. I haven't been saying that. I'm just saying what some people have been saying. But for me, you can't get involved in that. Like, we don't always have to have the answers of what player to bring in. But, you know, Gianluca Mancini looks like the right age. He's competing at Roma. He's doing quite well. And he's got 4 goals already this season, you know, with a couple of assists as well. And 6 goal involvements I've got down here, which is actually pretty good for a centre-back. There's a higher input than what Maguire's putting out right now, if you want to be like that. Pau Torres is another one. United are interested. Real Madrid are interested. You got the Varane situation. The Pau Torres one, most of the reports are saying that we've been in touch with Pau Torres. But the thing is with that is, it's like we monitor people all the way to other clubs. We've done the same thing with Gabriel. We've done the same. We've done the same thing with Thiago when we was interested in him. We've done the same thing in Regulon. Although yes, we all kind of agreed we didn't want to do the sell on fee. But it was a similar situation. It really was a similar situation. So for me, I don't necessarily think that we're... No, in fact, I got zero faith that we're going to get exactly what we need. You know, I'm looking at the centre-backs that we're in for. It's good that noises are coming out that we need a centre-back. But when I look at the centre midfield situation, if Pogba leaves, forget it. If Pogba leaves, we're even more screwed than now. Because I look at what McTominay and Matic done yesterday against AC Milan. And I take certain points that no matter who plays there, really, it's just not good enough. That's the actual issue we have. It ain't good enough. Do you know what I mean? But McTominay is being used out of position. We're asking him to be something he just isn't. We've got Matic, whose best years are past him. And together, it's an awful combination. An awful combination. You can't expect Matic to run the midfield, because that's just not what... I don't think he's capable of doing that anymore. Yes, he can bring a calming influence. Yes, he can use the ball quite well. I don't mind that at all. But he's not the guy. He's not the answer. McTominay, Ole 1 minute is talking about we need to unleash him. But at the moment with the squad we've got, he can't unleash him. He has to play him defensive midfield. Shane Simpson says bench players fix. And that sums it up. That sums it up. That sums up just exactly what we need and how far away we are from the quality of actually getting what we need. And that's a massive, massive worry. It really is, because no matter who plays in the positions now, they ain't good enough. I said this the back end of last season, and I think even halfway through last season, which is, we do this as United fans where we think the players that we have are actually better than they are. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's no disrespect to the players that we have, because I think we have got some very good players. You look at Bruno. Yes, of course, he's a fantastic player. You look at Luke Shaw, obviously he's a top draw player. You look at Paul Pogba, Martial, on his day, he can be amazing. Marcus Rashford is a very good player. Mason Greenwood will be a very good player. But if you think about it, a lot of them, we kind of gas them up into thinking they've made it already. Like, Mason Greenwood's in his 2nd season. Like, he burst onto the scene last season. Ole handled it right. He backs him. He gives him minutes and stuff like that. But when you deep it, look at the environment that Mason Greenwood's in, that he has to flourish in. I brought this up with Ricky the other day when he was basically saying that Greenwood's not ready and this, that, and the other. And you look at City's squad and you look at Phil Foden, and I'm like, but hold on a minute. Look at the environment that we're giving our young players to come into. Yeah, i.e., no leaders. The team's not finished yet. No style of play. And we're constantly rebuilding. That's 4 things there, yeah? Versus Manchester City. Obviously, they've got Pep Guardiola. That's the biggest hit. 2, they're winning things consistently every year. If not, they're challenging. They're going deep into competitions. Look at the squad. Phil Foden got to learn off David Silva. You know, who's Mason Greenwood learning off on the right wing? No one. He is the right winger. Ahmad has got to come in to United, yeah, as an 18-year-old kid from Atlanta who's got limited experience himself, but a few appearances in the Champions League and Serie A. He's coming into Man United and he has to learn off Mason Greenwood. and Mason Greenwood's still learning. Like, make it make sense. Do you know what I mean? Make that make sense. This is the environment we're given to our players, and that is an issue. How do we rear young players in, get new signers in that are that young? When you look at the squad, we don't have leaders. We don't have a ready-made squad, and that is why there's a lot of pressure on the likes of Mason and there will be on Ahmad. Yes, chat says Flex, if Tellez was right-footed, would you pick him at right back over Wan-Bissaka? Also, everyone says all James does is put a shift in. Is that what Park did? Listen, Park didn't just put a shift in. Park was an unbelievable footballer. Like, I don't want to hear. I take your question. I ain't trying to do the Dan James Park. Yeah, no disrespect to Dan James. Dan James couldn't lace Park's boots as it stands. Yeah, I hope Dan James keeps improving. Dan James does always put a shift in. Dan James does understand his position very well. I give him that. I like that about him. But he's got a way to go. Let's not do that. We can't mention big man like Ji-Sun Park with Dan James. I can't let that run. But back when we say, if Tellez was right-footed, would I pick him over Wan-Bissaka? No, I wouldn't, because I know it's hypotheticals and I see what you're trying to do there, but with what Wan-Bissaka does against wingers and just locks them off where nobody can get past, he's a phenomenal right back in terms of defensively as well. Mark Dobby says we've got players on the pitch that should be on the bench and players on the bench that shouldn't be in the club. We are massively short in quality. Mark, you just summed it up, mate. You summed it up absolutely perfectly. That is exactly how we're moving. Just the wrong way around. Everything's the wrong way around. Look at that. We've got players on the pitch that should be on the bench and players on the bench that shouldn't even be here. That is exactly where we're at. And Michael says, I think we need to go for Kessie. Oh, I was going to talk about Kessie a little bit later, actually. He's young, energetic. He's 24 years old, and he is solid. Do you blame Ole for the loss yesterday? And are you still Ole in? Well, on the Kessie thing, since you took it there, he did say, although it was in 2017, that if he did move to the Premier League, he'd want to move to Man United. So, you can spin it just because we just played against him. That's why he's in the headlines. But you look at where he's playing, defensive midfield, he's got 10 goals this year. 9 of them are penalties, I hear. But he was influential yesterday. And you look at what we have in defensive midfield, and he bossed it. He ran that midfield yesterday. Now, look, he's at a massive club, AC Milan. He's young. He's doing his thing. And he came from Atlanta as well. He only made 30 appearances for Atlanta. And then he found himself nicking a move to AC Milan. So he looks a very good player. Can he carry United? I don't know. But what I do know is what compared to what we have, yeah, he looks better than them already. Do you blame Ole for the loss yesterday? Or the second part of your question. And am I still Ole? And the loss yesterday, well, it wasn't a loss yesterday, but it felt like a loss. We drew, but I suppose we are losing in the tie. But I blame a lot of things. I blame the complete shit quality that we have in depth. We just do not have it. It's as simple as that. I blame Ole for the substitutions that he made. I get he probably wanted to rest players with one eye on the West Ham game coming up on Sunday. But to make us go to a back five, put Brandon Williams on, put Luke Shaw in at left centre-back and then changed it and put Tellez left centre-back and Luke Shaw left wing-back. Fred looked like he was playing in a attacking midfield number 10 role. Then he looked like he was playing on the left. It was just really disjointed. And I think that invited AC Milan on, where when we scored, we didn't have gears to go up. So I partly blame Ole, yeah. I am still Ole in, though. I am still Ole. We have to see what happens. The season's not over yet. I keep saying it. This is what we're talking about in terms of this coming up, what this means this week. This is a massive week. And I talk about that a little bit later in the show. Noah says, Van der Beek needs to play the box-to-box next to a specialist CDM. Maguire is not good enough. You need pace as a modern centre-back. He hurts us more than he helps us. What a bad miss by Harry Maguire yesterday as well. Like, he won't need us to tell him that it really was that bad. But yeah, I agree with Van der Beek. He needs to play. And look, when Van der Beek's fit again, is he going to get a game from now to the end of the season? Probably not much. Like Mark was saying to me yesterday, on the watch along. Axel Tuanzebe has got less minutes than Van der Beek. That's nuts. And Van der Beek hardly ever plays. So that's another thing we need to get sorted. I want to move on a bit though, guys. So we've spoken about Gianluca Mancini at Roma. Smash a like on the video if you are new. We're talking about Solskjaer's transfer priorities. Let me know what you think Solskjaer's priorities are. I've named five 5 positions that we need: defensive midfield, centre back, centre forward, right winger, and right back cover. You could even throw in a left wing cover as well for Rashford, so we don't keep running him into the ground as well. Because at the moment, that's all we seem to be doing, is running players into the ground that don't need to be run into the ground. And it's a joke. It's quite pathetic. But moving on, I want to talk about Avram Grant and the Glazers, right? So Avram Grant, I see, Chelsea manager. Avram Glazer, right, is set to make 70 million after putting up 5 million pounds of his shares. So that's going to take the Glazers down from 78% ownership to 74% ownership. Now, this is what I don't do is the fakery. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and do the whole I'm a financial advisor thing. I'm the Wolf of Wall Street. I know exactly what's going on. But that's most of us sitting at home. Yeah, I like to think I speak and can associate with you lot. I'm just a regular fan like you lot. But what I can do is look at the basics. Yeah, and what is nuts is this, right? Look, these are quotes, right? This is the downside. This is from Must, right? They said, for those of us that want change in ownership model, the Glazer family selling shares is the only way this can happen. So basically, if we want change at the club, we need the Glazers to lower their stake so the fans can have more of a say, so that the fans can buy into the club and so more tangible changes can happen. Basically, we need the Glazers out. The only way the Glazers get out is if they sell it or become minority shareholders, which I don't think they'll ever stay and become minority shareholders. They'll probably just sell it. Hear this bit now. This is the interesting bit. The downside of this move is that the shares being sold have no inferior. The shares being sold have inferior voting rights. So the ones that Avram Glazer, yeah, has put up for sale, they come with inferior voting rights. So it means you don't have a say. So it means that it's like if I sell you this iPhone as part of the shares of the club, right? And it has inferior shares, yes, you've bought it, but you don't have a say. Yeah, I'm not selling the shares that actually give you a say. So they know what they're doing with that one. That's number one. And the second bit is, and the proceeds from the sale will not go into the club. Now, are we surprised? So when he makes his 70 million, it ain't going back into the club. Where's it going? It's going into his back pocket. So like I said, I ain't no DiCaprio Wolf of Wall Street on the NASDAQ, on the trade thing, yeah? I've got friends who work in the trade thing, doing, selling shares and all of this stuff. I'm not into that. Yeah, I'll just be honest with you. I'm not going to paint a picture that I don't know, but I know basic maths and I know basically how things work on a very basic level. And what that's saying is that no, Avram Glazer's not selling those bits for the good of the club. When did the Glazers ever do anything for the good of the club? He's selling it for his own back pocket, and he's selling the shares that don't even give you a say. So again, similar to the director of football thing, depending on how you see it, I'm just going off what a lot of other people have been saying that I've been reading and have conversations with, i.e. KG and a lot of others, that's just to appease the fans. You're giving us this illusion that you're making changes and you're trying to do things, but how much change is it really? You're selling shares that don't give you a say, and the money that you get from the shares don't go into the club. Make it make sense. Coley says we're in 7th in the table of goals against. Arsenal have conceded fewer Premier League goals, as have City, Villa, Chelsea, Spurs, West Ham. Then comes United at 7th. Get a new centre-back. Here. But also, well, Mark was saying this. I don't know what you guys think about this. He was saying that he would prioritise a defensive midfielder. I think he was saying this, so that you wouldn't have to protect them as much. Or we could dominate games more, so there wouldn't be as much pressure. There wouldn't be players running at the defence as much if we had a proper defensive midfielder. It's a different way of looking at it, But we definitely do need the centre-back. But yeah, Daniel Mayer says the Glazers out. And that's what I mean. That's what I mean about this, man. Like, it's sad because they keep trying to... I feel like what's going on at Man United is that we keep trying to regurgitate stuff. Polish it up. Like I said in my match reaction yesterday, you can't get an antibacterial wipe and wipe a shit and try and clean it. Like you can't. Like they say, you can't polish a turd. It's so true. So that's just underwhelming for me. At the beginning, Must, the United Supporters Trust is basically saying that technically it's a good thing because it means that they're having less influence. But what does the less influence mean? like they alluded to, if they're only going to sell the bits that don't give anyone any voting rights. So you can't change anything. It means that the person buying it can only just make money out of it too. You can't make any tangible change. Then on top of that, even if he makes a profit on that and makes his £70 million, are you going to use it to go buy a new centre-back? No, you're not. You're going to use it to flipping up Tom Brady's wages or some bullshit like that. This from United Stand, guys. We're 300 away from 1,006,000 subs. Subscribe if you're new by clicking the link. Make sure you lot do that as well. What a road. We have gone past 1 million and we are flying. So make sure you lot, if you're new to it, make sure you do that. Mark Dobby says they're going to hollow out this club from the inside and then sell it, and it will just be a shell with no substance, aka Arsenal. And you know what? Whether you know loads about the Glazers or loads about the ownership or not, I think you're right there, Mark. It's almost like they're trying to suck it dry. You know, another thing as well, that our debt has risen to £455 million. It's risen to £455 million since the Glazers come in. There's been something like 1 billion put towards the debts of the club. Like, essentially, we can talk about Ole all we want and the players that we need and Ed Woodward and stuff like that. And it does always come back to the owners. You know, they keep getting off scot-free with this shit. You know, trying to just repackage stuff all the time. I just do not get it. It's a massive, massive issue for us, which essentially, until the Glazers leave, nothing's really going to change. And that for me is the biggest problem with this. Just over 3,000 people watching live. Make sure you lot smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Let's get to 3.5K watching live, man. Tell a friend. Let's make sure we do that. Cavani staying. I want to talk about this. We're going to talk about the week ahead as well. We're going to talk about the FA Cup game coming up, 2 massive cup games, with the huge top 4 game as well. Cavani staying, yeah. Does it make sense? I feel like throughout this show already, I've said a lot of make it make sense. That's all we kind of like always ask for at United. Like make what we do make sense. Does Cavani staying at Man United make sense? Now, when we got Cavani, we as fans knew, you're not putting the wool over our eyes. Yes, he comes with pedigree, which after me being pissed off at the fact that we signed him at such late notice, yes, I alluded to the fact that he's got quality. Has he had an impact on the squad? You have to say yes. You know, you look at the last minute goal to stop it going to extra time against Everton in the Carabao Cup. Left foot, bang, what a goal. He scored against Everton in the league as well, away from home. He scored them 2 against Southampton for the comeback. Brilliant header and an assist as well. 2 goals. He scored at Fulham as well to get us back into the game. And just in general, he's having a say on how we play. I agree with all of that. But guess what? Now we're seeing reports that United are unsure. We're unsure whether we're going to give Cavani a contract because we've got concerns about his injuries. Like, what the fuck? Like, hold on a minute. So where were these concerns when you signed him? Because us as fans who ain't top-level scouts with UEFA A licenses, we could have told you that Cavani's injury prone. This is his 3rd injury since he's been here. A muscular strain. I also read today that they passed him fit in one of the games. He travelled with the squad and then he didn't feel right. Like, the guy's injury prone. Then you get the stuff about his dad saying, you know, he might not want to be here and stuff like that. He's going to go to Boca Juniors, la-di-da-di-da. It's an easy decision to make. You get rid of Cavani. You do. For me, I really do think that. Shane says, I'll get back to that in a sec. Shane says, things will not change, Flex. Flex, things will not change with them, but Plug's in charge. No manager has ever been back to 100%, so we never know if a manager can make a difference. I 100% agree with that. Although Mourinho should have gone, although Van Gaal should have gone, David Moyes, all right, cool, we'll leave that where it is. But it's true. The managers never get backed, and then they ultimately die on the sword. Noah says, Man United are just stuck. We will never return to glory with Ed and the Glazers. They don't care about winning. They just want paid. They are greedy dogs. And Shane says, I've read that one already. And Maz says, you guys know Harsh, whose dad knows Ambani's, a rich family from India, should try to propose the idea of a Man United takeover. Listen, they said this last time. Harsh said this. And and people were saying, Harsh, you guys are millionaires out there in India. You lot buy United. listen, maybe harsh if you're watching, bro. The people have spoken. They want you lot to buy the club. You know what I mean? But back to the Cavani thing. It makes no sense to keep him. It doesn't. And you know what pisses me off most about it is that we can see it coming a mile off. Like, why are we the ones that can see it coming a mile off? But now halfway through the seasons, when he's had flipping 3 injuries, now we want to do the whole should we get rid of him? Should we not give him another year? Plus he had the thing that happened with the comment that he made as well. You know, the cultural differences. He obviously messed up. His dad kind of spoke about that, saying that's how we speak here. Back in Uruguay, it's a cultural thing, which I get. But in England, you know, it's a cultural difference. That's how it runs. So there was that situation as well. But like I said, if Cavani was fit, great, fantastic, keep him, well done. But he's not. He's not. I said this to KG the other day. KG was like, nah, because Cavani's this and Cavani's that. You wanted him to start. Yes, I have wanted him to start. And I could see that, especially when Martial wasn't playing well and he was out of form, which he kind of still hasn't recaptured that form yet. Absolutely, if Cavani's fit, he's starting for me. He gives us something that we don't have. His movement is brilliant. His hold-up play is brilliant. Does he suffer from the same thing that all our other strikers suffer from, whoever plays there? Yes, which is that we don't create chances. All this time that Cavani's been playing, I haven't looked at him and been like, rah, you're getting so many chances at goal. Like, we're putting him through one-on-one loads of times, he's just missing. He doesn't even get that much chances per game. He doesn't, because of the way we play. We don't play to his strengths. We started to. I remember Rashford against, what was that? We crossed it to back post and he scored at Old Trafford. I can't remember who that was against. I think it was Newcastle. Was it Newcastle at home? Or was it Leeds? I can't remember anyway. Or Southampton. One of them games anyway. And Rashford got the assist. Good assist. Someone probably put it in the comments. Everton. And that shows that we can play to his strengths at times. But it's just not being consistent enough. And you know what? He's injury prone, guys. If we're honest, he's injury prone. And why do we want to keep faith in a player that's injury prone? Keegan says, seeing the midfield dominated by the opposition because we bubble wrap Maguire and Lindelof is depression. We walk out every game disadvantaged. Well, you're right. You're right, Keegan. You know, and that is the problem. We even need it. Look, we're never going to get what we need in the summer. In my opinion, anyway. I hate to burst the bubble. We're never going to get what we need in the summer, which is a big issue, right? But even if you could get one of the two things that we desperately need, the centre-back or the defensive midfielder, you're going to help alleviate the problem with the centre-backs. Obviously, by getting a centre-back, you alleviate it. But if you do get the centre midfielder, the defensive midfielder, you're going to alleviate some of that pressure of the players that get a chance to run at Lindelof and Maguire or Bailly and Maguire, or whoever it might be. You know, we get a chance to actually dominate the ball in that area with people who can actually pass. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I agree. We're not going to get everything. We're not. That's just not how it's going to run. But at the end of the day, we need to get one of the two. We need to get one of the two. Is the Jadon Sancho thing just going to be forgotten about because now we've got Ahmad and we've got Mason Greenwood in that position? In my opinion, a striker, right? And hear me out, guys, and let me know if you completely disagree, right? 'Cause that's what it's all about. I think a striker can become just as important as the centre-back situation and the defensive midfielder situation. And this is why I say this, right? If Cavani leaves. Well, actually, no, forget that. Even if he stays, because we're seeing what Cavani is, what we knew he was. Sick note. Like, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just being honest with how he's been since he's been here. When he's played, he's been effective, but we can't get him on the pitch enough because he's injury prone. Yeah, muscular injuries galore, right? So if he stays, we're going to have that problem where we technically only have one striker in Martial. And if he leaves and don't replace him, right, then we've got the same situation. Now, for me, Mason Greenwood's not ready yet. Just let him keep growing. Is his best position on the right? Is his best position up front? We don't know. People keep saying it's up front. He's a born finisher. He's not quite there yet on the wing. He's growing, and there's probably a bit too much pressure for him right now, this early in his career. We probably should be using him a bit more sparingly, but with the injuries we have, no, we don't. So for me, I think that the striker situation is going to be a massive issue, because if we don't get it sorted, this is something that hasn't been sorted from when we had to get Igalo in as an emergent, as a stopgap. Again, when we got Igalo, yes, it was a nice thing to buy into. It was nice that he loved the club, he supports the club. He did well. He done really well at Watford, when he was there, and and the Watford fans did enjoy having him there. But even they said towards the end, "See you later, mate." You know what I mean? And he came in and done a job, and we probably got a little bit gassed about that. He kind of buying into the theme of it. It just feels like, because he's a Man United fan and it meant a lot to the people of Nigeria, first Nigerian to play for the club. All of that is true, but let's just put the club first here, guys. Yeah, it's an underwhelming signing. It's not the level we need. Yeah, to the point where Ole weren't even using him. Yeah, before he went, just before January, he was never going to get a start, especially because we've got Cavani on top. So we needed to fill the gap. Then you go and get Cavani, again, short-term solution. It's like the club have so many things to fix that they're just putting loads of things on the back burners, and it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. Super chat here from Spar says, would you back Ole with a solid bench, seeing the way he has treated Donny? Question mark. Good question. Good question, because Donny's not no little man player. Do you know what I mean? Donny's played big games. Donny can play ball. Comes to United, can't get a kick. And at a time, when we got Donny van der Beek, it wasn't like I said he should walk in and start in this team. I wasn't even in that camp. I even gave Ole the benefit of the doubt with that camp. I was more in the thing of, all right, cool. We got him instead of Jack Grealish for a very cheap price. Van der Sar hooked us up. Cool, we got the discount. Real Madrid were going to be in for him before COVID. That proves how the pedigree of the player. But what we need is when Bruno's not on form, when Pogba's not on form, he can play on the wing as well. So if Rashford's not on form or whatever, these times we're playing Mata out on the wing and Andreas and that, and Lingard or whatever. When they're not fit, Donny van der Beek can come in and play. That was my thing. So then when we have a shit start to the season, bearing in mind, Tottenham game was his first game, come off the bench, scored straight away. Was it Tottenham? Who was it? Or Palace? Palace, sorry, I think it was Palace. I think he scored in that game. Yeah, because it was only 6-1 against Spurs, so it weren't them. It was his first home game anyway. He scored, but we lost again. We lost the game. Yeah, it was Palace, and he had an instant impact, but he can't get in the team when people are playing crap. Then we get the injuries, and then Sod's Law, he gets injured when they're injured. So not good. So yeah, you're right. Do you back Ole if you give him the depth to actually use it properly? That, and his reluctance to change games. Marcus Rashford plays almost every minute of every game. No wonder why the guy had a double stress fracture. He's carrying United. Do you know what I mean? Same this season, playing game after game after game. He looks jaded and frustrated and just tired. Don't get me wrong, we are a better team with Marcus Rashford in our team, and the reason why he has to play is because of the lack of options there. But there are some games you can just take him off, start Dan James on the left, or mix it up, put Martial onto the left hand side. Just give Rashford a rest, but we never seem to do it and run him into the ground. There's even rumours that he's got a shoulder injury now that he needs to get sorted out. Obviously, I know he's injured now, but even before he got injured the other day, he had this shoulder injury that they're talking about might need surgery. Same with Victor Lindelof. Like, the only reason Eric Bailly plays is because Victor Lindelof's got a dodgy back. It just again, make it make sense. Amit says, hi Flex, thoughts on Maguire quotes on the United Journal on Twitter about an English centre-back is alarming. That was a little bit alarming, I have to say, but I'm not surprised. This is what we're getting into. The English centre-back bias. That's just what it is. Flex, what's your predicted lineup versus West Ham? Says, yeah, I'll do that towards the end when we talk about the week. When we talk about the week coming up. And Noah says, Van der Beek more Champions League experience than everyone except Pogba and De Gea. Has he got more Champions League experience? Rashford's got Champions League experience, but again, some Europa, some that. Martial, similar. But yeah, I get what you're saying. He's got to, well, actually, yeah, he's got to a semi-final of the Champions League, hasn't he? I suppose. So, yeah, you'd have to say, yeah, you'd have to say he's up there, definitely. Pogba's got to a final with Juventus and lost. I think that was at Wembley, that one as well. I remember watching that. I don't know. It just it's not good. Ollie is world class, young manager, 100%. He is Sir Alex Ferguson's prodigy, says Mohammed. Well, I love that, Mohammed, from you. To be honest, I need a little bit of that optimism. Yeah, some people may say they might need a little bit of what you're smoking there. To be honest, because I can't see that. But listen, the week ahead though, I want to talk about the week ahead because it is a absolutely massive week ahead. Yeah, a make or break. It really is because. You look at the games coming up. We've got West Ham on the weekend, right? The return leg of AC Milan, right, at the San Siro. And then you come back, what is it? Leicester after that in the quarterfinals. Brighton and Tottenham. But let's just focus on those games, yeah? These 3 games here. West Ham on Sunday. Milan away. We know what that's about. And Leicester in the quarterfinals. And Leicester starting to get their players back. Make or break for Ollie. Make or break for Ollie. If we go out of the cup competitions, right, and only finish second, or scrape top 4, or just get top 4, whatever, second, third, fourth, it won't look good. It will not look good. You know, the season, well, essentially will be over. We'll be playing for top 4. Like, what's that? Because another thing is, this top 4 business, yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. You have to get into the top 4 to attract the players. But if you have a shit style of play, or you go out, you don't even get out of the groups because you drop down into Europa League every year because you don't even end up competing against the best every time you make it to Champions League, then what's the point? Yeah, it's great for the club in terms of the money and the advertising revenue. And I get the other side of it where it brings players in, but for what? We're going to go away to Bayern Munich to get slapped right now. You know, on our day, yes, we can pull out the performances on the counter-attack. We can do that. But what does it really mean? What does it really mean? If we don't win anything this year and just get the top 4 again, that was acceptable last year because it was Ollie's first full season. Yeah, we didn't know what to really expect, and we needed to get back into the top 4. He did it. We got to 3 semi-finals last year and bottled them all. Now you kind of once that's happened once. You draw a line under it and you say, right, this season's all about improvements. Don't get me wrong, he still needs his players. But you say, right, cool. This is the season. This is the season where you need to better that. Well, if we go out at this stage of the Champions League, it's worse. I don't care that it's AC Milan and it's a more difficult tie than we had at this stage of the round last year. It's still worse. If we go out at Leicester at the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, yeah. It's worse because we got to the semi-finals last time. And then you're saying that we're basically the same as last year because we're playing for top 4. Where's the progress? Where's the progress? What, Europa League? Is that what we're doing? Europa, that's the progress. Trying to win that. So yeah, of course, now we're in it. We should want to win it. But we need to see progress in these cup competitions. You can't keep falling short and saying that's good enough. I think there's a serious chance that we could be out of both. We could be out of both. The FA Cup and the Europa League. And these injuries that I hear, we could be without up to 7 players for West Ham. You know, Ahmad's looking to push for a start, which is exciting in itself. He done really well when he came on, especially for his goal. Fizzled out after that, but I think our performance did altogether, to be honest with you. And that's a big issue. But if we have to go into this, even Solskjaer said it himself. He said, I don't think he said the word praying, but he says I'm really hopeful or I'm really eager or whatever he said. Basically, I badly need Rashford back for the San Siro. He won't be ready for Sunday, and he said he's annoyed about Martial's injury as well. Cavani's not going to be ready, so that's Cavani, Rashford, Martial, Van der Beek, Pogba. Who else is injured? And then I think when they say 7, they're counting in the obvious ones like Phil Jones, which is 6. And Mata is 7. So that's probably the 7 there. Luke Shaw, I think's all right. I said it against last night against AC Milan. You look at the team that is there with how threadbare it is. If the game doesn't take the course that we want it to, what do we have to change it with? And we're 1 player less than that because now Ahmad has to start. So on the bench, this is what the bench is going to be if the injuries are the same. The bench is going to be Well, there's no matter. So the bench is going to be... So the starting team is going to be Greenwood, Ahmad, and James, right? With McTominay and Fred, he'll probably go with against West Ham. McTominay and Fred will come in, and Bruno. That's the team. And he'll go back to the normal back four, yeah? Let's say Lindelof will come straight back in, Bailly will go out, and we pretty much know that Dean Henderson's going to play. But on the bench, you're going to have Eric Bailly, Brandon Williams, Shola, Axel Tuanzebe, Lee Grant, the other keeper. Like, what's going on? Like, again, make it make sense. Nick P says, Flex, I can't be Ollie anymore. I can't back Ollie anymore. I don't think anyone can be Ollie. I can't back Ollie anymore. Not because I don't like him, but under the Glazers, we need a manager that can turn water into wine. We need Jesus. We can't compete with Man City. Being in Progress FC is not good enough. I hear you. Look, I do have sympathy with Ollie in terms of he doesn't have the tools, and he's not going to get the tools. But where he falls short is, like you said, he's learning on the job. Darren Fletcher learning on the job. Kieran McKenna learning on the job. Nicky Butt, yes, he's been around the reserves and the youth level football for a while, but at this level, learning on the job. Mick Phelan, all right, he's not learning on the job. He's been there and done it before. But it's the old guard. It's the old guard, and it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. So, you know, how far can Ollie go if he has to keep learning on the job? That's the question. Like, you can't... Yes, we can't expect him to just be miracle workers, but we've put him in charge. But by putting him in charge, we do have to be patient. I do get that, but that's why we're seeing what we're seeing with the bad inconsistencies, because we're just not being consistent because he's learning on the job. Simple as that. Joe Crawford says so much potential if we get a CDM and a centre back, but still not good enough squad depth. Yeah, I agree. If we get a central defensive midfielder and a centre back. But still not enough squad depth. We still need the squad depth, and that is a big problem. Dougie says if Ollie stays, he should get more experienced assistant coaches. A lot of people have said that. What if you bring in more experienced coaches around Ollie and still keep him at the helm? Some people may say that's not really it. But you know, I was looking at I saw a video of Ollie last week, and he was basically saying that he don't really run the sessions. He don't really run the sessions. You've got just Carrick out there on the cones and Nicky Butt and Kieran McKenna and whatnot. And Solskjaer kind of taking a step back. And that's what I'm saying. Like, whether it's Ollie or not, you look at the people that are running the sessions, they're all inexperienced. I even forgot about Carrick. What a player. But he's in his first year of, second year now, but of doing this. You know, it's you can't really expect too much progression with the setup that we actually have. Michael says Ollie was the man for the rebuild and he's almost done with it. We need a tactician like Nagelsmann to make it work. Ollie to director of football, he would do a job. Do you remember that when everyone was saying basically get Ollie in as director of football? And this is what I was talking about, ceilings. Has Solskjaer done a good job with this Man United squad? I'm not in the camp that says, no, he's been absolutely shit. We're no different than when we was with Mourinho. What's changed? He's crap. I can see it bigger than that. That's not in my opinion. I just think he looks like, unless he's got gears to go up with some new players that we hopefully get in the summer, he looks like he's reaching that natural ceiling of like, okay, he put out the fires, he stabilised the clubs, he got rid of players who didn't want to be here, rotten apples, didn't fit in, whatever you want to call it. Brought the average age of the squad down, got rid of some of the deadwood. There's still a lot more to go, but he did. He's got rid of that. Brought in Mason Greenwood, he's scoring goals, had a great season last year, got a great season out of Martial, got a great season out of Rashford. Wan-Bissaka is kicking on. He's making Luke Shaw play the best football of his career. And he brought Bruno to the club. There are a lot of good things. He finished third last season. Not bad considering where we finished the season before. And he looks on course to finish second this year. That's not bad. The best of the rest. I know we don't want to be the best of the rest, but when you look at our squad, and this is in defence of Ollie, is he really expected to be better than City with the squad we got now? Like if Pep had this squad, would he win the league with this squad against Ollie, who had the Man City squad right now? No, he wouldn't. Some people say Oli might not even win the league with that City squad because they wouldn't play in the same way. But he would have a far better chance than Pep winning the league with our team. I just don't see that happening. Agam says, hey Flex, but in context of circumstances, imagine having to go a season without having a right winger, not third choice or sixth. Yeah, it's true. But without any at all. Imagine a full season with only attack from the left side. And that's what we see. That's what we see. Everything we do is from the left-hand side. People are saying, yes, Pep will. Are we saying that, guys? Arab says Pep would win the league with the team that we have. Are we doing that? Are we doing that? Let me know in the comments. I need to see this. Would Pep Guardiola win the team, win the league with McTominay and Fred in midfield, or Matic and Fred in midfield, Matic, McTominay, whatever pair you want, and Pogba, Bruno, Martial up front, Rashford on the left, Greenwood on the right, or Dan James, and Maguire and Lindelof at the back? Is that what we're doing here? No way, no way. No, but the gap would be close. No, maybe. Right, okay. I see what we're doing here. Better comparison, Flex. Pep with this squad versus Oli with this squad. There you go, Delaney. That's a better comparison. That's the question we need to ask. Because if Pep walks into this squad, he goes, right, well, McTominay, you ain't playing defensive mid for me. Then he'll go to Ed Woodward and say, I need a defensive midfielder. That's how Pep works. That's what he did at Man City. You had Fernandinho there. Fernandinho's getting old. I need Rodri. Don't get me Rodri. Look how he's just slotted in. Centre-backs. My God, he's gone through loads of centre-backs and full-backs. Do you know what I mean? Sagna and Clichy were getting old. So we brought in Mendy and Walker. Brought in Stones for £50 million. Brought in Nathan Ake this year, who unfortunately got injured. Laporte, who was a revelation last year. Diaz this year. Laporte can't get in the team. Resurgence of John Stones. The keeper situation. Who did he buy? Navas first, didn't he? No, Bravo. Who did he buy? Bravo. I think it was Bravo, innit? Got rid of Bravo, said he was shit. Bought Edison. So what Pep would do if he come to Man United is change things. So that if he did end up winning the league, it wouldn't be with the same team. He'd probably even say, Martial, you're not playing. I don't know. If he could play the way he could, maybe under Pep, that would actually be quite exciting. Because the style of play would help a lot of our players. One thing he would do is put Donny van der Beek in the team as well. SK says, De Gea, Shaw, Bailly, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Tuanzebe, Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood. This team addresses all the problems. What do you think? Tuanzebe DM? Nah, I'm not having it. This happened with... I agree with all the rest of what you're saying there, SK. But this happened with Wan-Bissaka when we tried to start putting him... people were saying, should he maybe play centre-back? No. Someone even said, yeah, Lindelof can play defensive mid. No. Like, just because you look silky on the ball at centre-back with hardly any pressure on you and you can drive out with loads of space or pick out a pass because the striker's not pressing you, that don't mean you can play defensive midfield. Tuanzebe's best position, for me, is a centre-back. Is that centre-back. Even at right-back, I'm like, all right, he can fill in there because he's fast and he's quick and he's solid. But he can't really offer you anything going forward. Wan-Bissaka's getting better at that. But it goes back to what I said, like, I want specialists in the positions. Agam says, hey, bro, please listen to what Andy Mitten said about Oli on Talk of the Devils podcast. I'll check that out. Yeah, I'll check that out. Andy Mitten's always got a lot of good stuff to say. Red Baron says, I think you're overlooking a lot of our lucky wins this season. With Pep, at least we would get a style of play. Red Baron, I agree. I do agree with that. We can't overlook the lucky wins and how we've been playing. I do understand that. But that's what I'm saying. If Pep came here, he would... that style of play would be gone and certain players would be gone. Do you know what I mean? Salman says, hey Flex, first live show I've caught since 1 million. Congrats, lads. Where you been, Salman? Where you been? We've been on 1 million for a couple of weeks now, bro. Or about that. Where you been? Would you rate our season out? What would you rate our season out of 10 so far? And where would you like to see us come in May? Great job, and here's to another mil. Big up yourself, Salman. Like the energy there, man. Got a question now. Where would you like to see us come May? Well, second, because I don't think, well, obviously, win the league, but that's not going to happen. But second, definitely second, and with at least one trophy. We've got to win a trophy. I really want to see. I think it'd be so big for this team to win a trophy, man. It really will. Like, you look at the pressure that's on them. You look at them growing. You look at Ole growing, and for him to get that first trophy would be absolutely massive. Can't. This nearly men mentality has got to drop off soon. You know what I mean? It really has to drop off. So yeah, that's where I'd like to see us come. And where would I rate our season out of 10 right now? We got into the Champions League, went out in the group stages, so that's shit. We were top of the league in January with about a 4-point gap, I believe. And now we're, 11 points off. And at one point, we was as big as 14 points off. Considering, not technically, we're still in the FA Cup and we're still in the Europa League. For how long, I don't know, but we are. Considering that, I'd say probably a 6. A 6. And if we can turn that into, getting to a final and winning one of these things, obviously it's going to go up a lot higher, and especially if we finish second. Look, 7 out of 10, and I'm seeing 6 a lot. 6 at the moment, 7, 4 out of 10. Wow, it's very mixed. A lot of people saying, someone said 8. Sahil said 8. 6 out of 10, a 4, a 7. Quite a few 7s. I don't know about that. I don't know. I can't give us a 7. Our season hasn't been a 7, man. You can't go out the Champions League in the group stages and get a 7 out of 10. Nah, 7 and up is what you call a good season. So we're not there yet to call it a good season. I think we've had parts of the season that have been good, and we've been in great positions. Being near the top of the league, at the top of the league in January. If you'd asked me in January, although we were still out of the Champions League by then, but if you'd asked me in January, it would have been a 7. But nah, I don't think you can say that yet. And Roy Law says, Ole has told the Glazers he will do it Klopp's way. Hard-working, cheap players. It's obvious he's trying to be Poundland Klopp. That's how he's keeping his job. Well, it looks like we're saving money all the way through. I mean, like I said, if we keep Cavani, it's the easy option because you don't have to then go and spend proper peas on a young striker who's going to stay with us for a prolonged period of time and contribute. If we keep Bailly, I mean, do you not think we should keep Eric Bailly? If we keep Eric Bailly and give him a new contract, I do like Bailly, and there's a lot of they're talking to his representatives already, so they're trying to get a deal for him. Eric Bailly's interview today, I saw it. He's basically saying that I'm playing really well. I'm in good form, but how reliable is he? And again, are they doing it just to save the money? And then you keep Lindelof as well. So what's really changing? Tuanzebe's never going to get a kick. So then you send him out and you lose him. You sell Jesse Lingard. You sell Juan Mata. Actually, on Andreas, he's happy to stay in Italy. I saw reports today saying that he wants to stay there. He doesn't see a future at Man United. That's true. He's not going to have a future at Man United with Napoli and Atlanta keen. Lazio definitely. When I saw that Andreas went to Lazio on loan, and then I saw what the option to buy was, it was like, I think it was like £27 million or euros. I was like, that's a lot of money. That's nearly £30 million. They ain't going to buy Andreas for £30 million unless he had an absolute blind of a season, which I don't think he has had. So that's going to be interesting to see. And then you sell Phil Jones, hopefully, whatever he gets, 10 million for Phil Jones? I don't know. Antish says, Flex, you were trying your best to get Ricky to say that Dan James was rubbish, lol. I was trying to get him to give him a bit of criticism. He missed an open goal. So did Harry Maguire. So you have to call these things out. And the thing I wanted to finish on, guys, actually, is Bruno wins the FSA Football Player of the Year. That's a good achievement for Bruno. It's voted by the fans. Who was in there? Salah, Grealish, Son, Kevin De Bruyne as well. What a player. I mean, that is one positive that we can look at, is the impact of Bruno. And I don't care what you say about Bruno. To some people, the way they like their football, the way they enjoy their football, Bruno's kind of horrible on the eye. Like, the way he runs or his style of play. People, some football purists are a bit like, nah. But listen, the say that he has in games and what he's capable of doing with the ball, he's just unreal. I saw Jason Cundy talking on TalkSport, and he was saying no Bruno, no party. It's almost like when he doesn't play, what are we? Where would we be without Bruno? Where would we be without Bruno? That pass to Diallo yesterday, it's a straight ball, but you know how difficult that ball is to drop it over the top. Tamori was flipping, doing cartwheels. Didn't know where he was, spinning around. Great run from out to in from Diallo, but the pick out from Bruno is unreal, and he's done that time and time again. I remember the ball that he played against. I think it was against RB Leipzig. It was against RB Leipzig when he wasn't even looking. The ball just come into him, bang, round the corner. Rashford just cleaned through, and then we scored. Bruno's passing is unreal. He is unbelievable. Yes, his playing style can frustrate you because he always looks for that killer pass and stuff like that. But look at the impact that he's having on the games. Do you know what I mean? He's having a massive, massive impact on the game. So there you have it. Roll on the big weekend, guys. There's a lot to do, a lot to play for, and this is the make or break season for Ole. Like, if we f this up, season done, and it won't be enough. Well, if you mess up against West Ham on the weekend, what are West Ham? West Ham are on 48 points with a game in hand as well, by the way. So their next game's against us. So they'll be on 51. They'll be 3 points behind us if they beat us with a game in hand. And then if Chelsea win and we lose, they'll be 1 point behind us. And then Leicester, obviously, they'll go above us. So, and look at Everton as well. They're closing down as well, 2 points behind West Ham as well. So if we lose or even if we draw against West Ham, that's not the end of the world. But we need to be winning this game to really start getting a gap. You know what I mean? Because we'll be nine points off West Ham if we win. So it's a must-win game. I know we've got a depleted squad, but these are one of the games where you got to get that W. You know, this is a make or break week for Ole, I'm gonna say. So yeah, roll on the make or break week. Roll on AC Milan. Roll on West Ham. Roll on Leicester. Hopefully we can go and do the business. Thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow, what day is it? Saturday. We got Mark's show. We've got the build up to the game on Sunday, West Ham. The preview as well. We'll be looking at that. Hold tight, Mohammed says, Flex buddy, you're amazing and a great community as well. Thank you, Ollie, in 100%. Yeah, peace. If you guys are struggling with anything going on as well, you know, the women in your life, I have to say, put an arm around them, talk to them, listen to them, you know, with what's going on with Sarah as well today. Tragic news. So anyone who's been affected by what's been going on, we're with you. You know what I mean? I'm going to be doing some stuff on my channel about that as well. Big up to yourselves and help the women around you. Let's listen, guys. Let's do our bit. And Aquarius says, love the show. Big up yourself. Thanks for the super chat there as well. I'm out of it, guys. I'm gone. Yeah. See you lot on Sunday on the Fan Forum.